Cowboys Nation, what is up? It's Jimmy D here, and Mike Tagg is not here. He's out somewhere in the Caribbean spending all his parlay winnings he got from Uncle Cheech last week from taking his advice. But more importantly, you know what? We got somebody who's much better looking, and obviously Greg, who knows his Cowboy stuff, and that's great because unexpectedly we had some drama in Cowboys Nation today. So Greg, how you doing? How's everything going?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Jimmy D? It's good to hook up with you again, brother.
You too. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So so Calvin Johnson, good riddance to McCarthy, Vince. So Greg, right off the top, because we wanted to wait till we got on before we talked about it. So Greg, what do you think?
Man, I would say I'm surprised, but I would be lying to you because this is the world of Jerry Janky Jones. He does this. He waits to the last minute, always. He denies everybody else from talking to Mike McCarthy, giving us the suspicion that he wants to keep him. And then all of a sudden, in the 11th hour, he does nothing. And now the man leaves. And even worse, Jimmy, is during the Lions bye week, he had an opportunity to talk to some of those coaches on that staff to see if they would be interested in being a Cowboys coach. But because he didn't do anything at all, which is the nature of his being, now, because they're only a week out, he can't talk to them. So now McCarthy's gone. He can't talk to any of those coaches. All the other coaches will probably be doing strategy, getting their paperwork and their money lined up. So the moment they're able to talk to him after the playoffs or after the Super Bowl, they'll be able to go in. And knowing Jerry, he'll probably go out there and try to spend $35 and find a coach from Target. That's Jerry Jones. That's typical Jerry Jones.
You know, I tell you, and that's the thing. You kind of backed into a corner now. And it's funny because Mike Tagg and I talked about this a few weeks ago that, they said, is McCarthy coming back? Is he not coming back? And my thing was, and Mike Tagg uses, he's a free agent. He could have went, but it looks like he hung on thinking he was going to stay there. And then this bombshell happens. You can't make this up.
That's what he does, man. He puts you on the string. He leads you along. And then all of a sudden, he drops the Hail Mary on you. And all of a sudden, boom, it's lights out, or you wait to the last minute to sign somebody where you just lost all of that money that you had to sign somebody earlier and sign other people. Jimmy, we got 22. Y'all listen, double digit, 22 unrestricted free agents this offseason that Jerry's got to find a way to either keep or get rid of. We are in trouble.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you know what? Now the coach is gone. So, and some people knew he was a lame duck coach, but now you got a good chance of losing him just because of the instability at the coaching position. Yeah. I mean, let's look at Andrew Fisher. Jerry did not want to keep him. Jerry wanted to keep him, but on his terms. McCarthy wasn't biting. Absolutely correct. Messed it up. Not talking to Lions candidates.
That's right. That's exactly right in a nutshell. But Jerry knew that during the negotiations, when Mike McCarthy was in good faith negotiating for his job, for something that most coaches would negotiate for, Jerry Jones can read between the lines. Maybe you want to make decisions that coaches make, but I don't want you to. Maybe you might want to bring in players that coaches normally do, but I don't want you to. I'm Jerry Jones. I want to make all the decisions. In fact, I want to decide when you even take a breath. And since Mike McCarthy wasn't falling for it, which I'm glad, Mike McCarthy was basically no. And you know what, Mike? Thank you for what you brought to us. You gave us, out of those 5 years, you gave us at least 3 good years. And those folks that say Mike McCarthy needs to go, folks, y'all got to remember, you can't always decide to just go around the pendulum with a coach every time you don't get what you want, even in winning seasons. Tomlin's been with the Pittsburgh Steelers 18 years. Look at like Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was with us at least 14. We didn't get nothing out of that. But now, who are we going to hire? Who will Jerry pay? And who will he allow to have the control that coaches are supposed to have? That's the issue. All these other teams will be willing to give Mike McCarthy what he needs and support him, not Jerry Jones.
So the question is now, okay, so now, like you said, the list is shorter because they waited too long and strung him along, right?
Yep.
The question is, who are you going to find who wants to take the drama, who wants to deal with the drama, and also who's willing to be a puppet for Jerry and Stephen Jones.
And that's the key, Jimmy, because a lot of coaches out there that are ready to win and ready to change the culture, they already know I'm not about to sit there and bow down to the ring of Jerry Jones and talk when he wants me to talk and decide to make decisions when he wants decisions. And his son, Stephen, telling Jerry, well, you know, Dad, we don't have the money, so we can't go get it. Yeah, I guess you don't have the money when Stephen, you want to put all the money in your pocket versus putting it out there on the team and the investment that you guys made. A lot of coaches are going to come up to Jerry and go through the interview just for the grins of it. But they know they will not have even the slightest type of control that coaches are supposed to have, which is going to burn their chops. And their agents are going to be talking to other people more so than Dallas. And Jerry, guys, you think you wanted McCarthy gone. You wait to see what Jerry goes out there and gets now. You wait.
Well, so you got Ultra. Cowboys fans cry about everything. So, Ultra, are you telling me that you're okay with this situation the way it played out? I mean, you're crazy. And Edgar. So Edgar's taking a different stance. He's thinking that Jerry and his dumbass son have their mindset on an internal candidate. Doesn't make any sense. Well,
you know what? They got a point because Jerry can pay somebody internally cheaper. He can pay him cheaper. This is what's on Jerry's mind. 1 and 2. Can I buy him for a nickel? And will they let me control them? And if they will, Jerry doesn't give a damn about our record. But then because he's a salesman, he can go out there and sell that snake oil salesman product to everybody about, we got to win in this coach. This coach is going to do what we want him to do. And I'm telling you, he's going to win. He does that to try to bait us along as he does. And Ultra's right. Cowboys fans cry about everything. And when you cried about McCarthy, what they say sometimes, be wary of what you ask for. Because McCarthy is proven. McCarthy needed more than 5 years. He was a lame duck because Jerry, we had major injuries out of training camp. Major. And then we had injuries in the first 3 games, major injuries.
Yes.
Then Jerry didn't go out there and get no backups. It's one thing when you let Dante Fowler go to the Commanders. When you let the other linemen, other defensive linemen go. Then you let Tyler Biadasz go. It was about 4 or 5 starters that you let go to the Commanders. And you let 2 coaching staffs go. And then you let Dan Quinn go. And look what they're doing. But here's the worst. You didn't replace them, Jerry. You didn't replace them. You just thought next man up. Then you had an opportunity to get 2 premium running backs who are tearing the league up, who are going to the next round in the playoffs.
Yes.
You didn't even call them. And then you sit back and think, well, I'm going to let McCarthy go. It ain't McCarthy's fault. You can give me that team. I couldn't do nothing with it. And Jerry, you couldn't either. So we are in trouble. 22 unrestricted free agents. We got to find a way to keep. Most of them are going to be offered more money. Now, what do you do to backfill them, Jerry? We're at 8, 9, between 9 and they say $17 million on the salary cap. We got some dead money out there. We still paying Michael Gallup. We still got to pay players.
Really?
Yeah.
You're playing Michael Gallup still?
Michael Gallup is still getting dead money. So what are you going to do to go out and get players now, Jerry? All of that because you want to wear all the hats. You don't want to get a real GM that knows how to find people. In the meantime, our competitors are doing what, Jimmy? They're going out there getting players.
Yeah.
They're going out there bringing in this, that, bring this one in, bring this one in. And look at our division. Other than the Giants, we look real sad for the next 3 years. And the Giants got big money. So the Giants can go out there and re-up and build them a team. What are we going to do?
And to your point, and we'll get to this in a little bit later in the show, you're talking about running backs. Look what Derrick Henry did this weekend. Saquon played well. Derrick Henry killed it. And another thing I'm going to throw at you later. Right now is not the time. We'll deal with this later in the show. Tyler Algier. We'll talk about him in a little bit. He might be a good fit in Dallas, and it might work out for us. We'll talk about that later. So no to Kellen Moore.
No. Don't bring him back.
What?
No, listen.
That's crazy.
Kellen Moore he's a decent offensive coordinator only because people caught on to him. Only because when he first became, he was a quarterback for us first.
Yes.
And then when he became offensive coordinator, he came up with plays that other teams weren't doing. And he basically said, these are plays when I was a kid I used to draw up. So And these plays they weren't common plays, offensive plays that most defensive coordinators have seen. And it worked out fine the first year. The second year, everybody caught on, and it wasn't working. And I think he got a little too conservative in his second year in the offensive coordinating, and the magic wasn't there no more. I don't know if the Kool-Aid ran out or what, but the magic wasn't there. He moved on to the Chargers. Didn't work out with the Chargers. Now he's with Philly. I wouldn't say so much that his offensive coordinating is helping Philly as it is the plays that they're running. They have the dynamic playmakers to make those plays happen. I wouldn't bring them back. But the people that are talking about Jerry going inside, maybe bringing him back, it's because Jerry knows he can get Kellen on the dime. He can pay him cheap. Remember that, folks. Jerry wants a coach he can pay rock bottom and expect them to climb Mount Everest. At the same time, when they say, I got to go this path, Jerry's going to say, no, I want you to go up the slippery slope. That's Jerry.
Yeah. Well, and Bugsy's saying he has a bad feeling it's going to be Kellen Moore or Garrett. And think about it. Under Kellen Moore, and look, and I've been around the cave long enough to know Dak Prescott definitely improved a lot. When they got rid of Kellen Moore, McCarthy started calling the plays.
Yeah, and you're right, because McCarthy really needs, if he would have stayed, like I was telling Mike one time, I said, if he stays, we need to go get another offensive coordinator, a West Coast offensive coordinator, but scheme type coordinator. But Kellen Moore, he was sharp his first season because the plays he designed, nobody had seen. And they even talked about it. Nobody had seen. So it looked like, whoa, where's this offensive coordinator? But the next year, they caught on. And even though we did decent, all of a sudden, after that year, you see what happened to Kellen Moore. If he was so much of a brilliant offensive coordinator, why didn't we keep him? And then he's gone. And then the Chargers, if he was so much of a good offensive coordinator, why didn't the Chargers keep him? And now he's at Philly. And some people are going to want to hire Kellen Moore who are desperate. But if Jerry Jones goes that route, it's only because he can get them cheap.
And Marissa's saying they're looking for a yes man, and that's part of the deal. That's what I mean. If you're not going to have any autonomy over your offensive coordinator and all that, you are a yes man. And Andrew Fisher, they had the Cooper, CD, healthy Gallup. Moore is mid. Well, he is mid. So
when we had Amari Cooper, we had the best route running receiver in the NFL. You know why Jerry Jones got rid of Amari Cooper? Because he said something in the locker room about Dak. And what he said was true. And players are going to do that from time to time. But you don't disrupt the team for that. Right. He got rid of Amari Cooper under the same premise like he got rid of Jimmy Johnson because of what he said. Well, Jerry, shut your mouth. Stay in the office where you belong. Let the locker room do the locker room stuff. We could have had Amari Cooper. You still would have had CeeDee Lamb. Bookends. Look what Amari Cooper's doing for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
All these players that we get away, and look what they're doing for these other teams.
Now, I want to ask you something. So real quickly with Cooper, Greg, because I don't know. When that came out, was that public? Did it come out in public, or was that after the fact?
No. Jerry ain't going to come out and say, well, I got rid of him because he said something about Dak. No, that's locker room. That came out later. But he didn't. And if you notice, nobody can tell you right now what was the public statement from Jerry Jones as to why we got rid of Amari Cooper. Nobody can tell you because he didn't. He just got rid of him. See, Jerry said this week when he was asked by the media, have you ever considered giving up the GM job and bringing somebody in? Unequivocally. No hesitation. No. Just like that. No. I'll be the owner and everything until I die. Well, when he's senile and he's got dementia, he'll still be calling the shots. And Steve and his son will still be sitting back there saying, Dad, I don't think we got the money to go get him because, I still want to buy that mansion over there and everything. So I don't know. Let's just stick with the fact that we're a world-known team and we bring in a lot of people in merchandise, and let's just stick with that, Dad. Let's not try to win a Super Bowl. Man, they both need to go.
No, I tell you, at the end of the day, I mean, if you ask me, I think dementia's set in with some of the stuff he said. I think dementia's set in already. I'm not trying to be funny or stupid, but it's true.
Well, this year, there's been some things he said in the media, and I had to say, does he realize he's standing in front of the media?
Right. There's a hot mic, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, is he in the bathroom looking in the mirror, just practicing or something? Because
he's practicing something in the mirror, and I don't want to know about that.
But you know what's so bad about Jerry? You know, Jerry always catches hell every year, and rightfully so. But Jimmy, this year, of all the years from the time he's owned the team, this is the most prevalent year to where all the arrows that come into the Dallas Cowboys, they used to go here, 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 here. Every arrow comes in like this now, and they're all going to the same direction. Jerry Jones. All the blame, all of the fiasco, none of them are going like some over here, some to Jerry. All of them are dead targeted on Jerry Jones. He is the absolute, positively bullseye of every problem we had this year. And he is behind the decision-making of all of it, and he won't take accountability.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll I have to agree with you on that. Besides the injuries, all the other stuff, which, like I said, wait until the beginning of the season to sign Dak Prescott. And, there was two big signings at the beginning of season and training camp, and having a lame duck coach.
Yep, and if he had signed CD before Minnesota signed, Jefferson? When Jefferson set the precedent, he could have got CD a little cheaper.
Yes,
and
exactly.
CD still would have been well off, but he got him cheaper. If he had signed Dak instead of 20 minutes before the first game, which is ludicrous, he could have saved some money then. Now he's got to go through this season with Micah Parsons on his last contracting year. Micah said, I know my agent isn't going to like this, but I'm willing to find a way to be a Dallas Cowboy. I like that because he loves the game. He loves being Dallas Cowboy. But at the same time, I'd have to say to that young man, as much as I want you on our team, man, knowing how Jerry is and how he'll try to exploit you monetarily, get your money, man. Get your money. If it hurts us, it hurts us. But I'd rather see you get your money than get exploited by Jerry and don't get paid. And now we got 22 unrestricted free agents on top of the ones that left, the people that left to go to Washington, on top of the ones that are hurt that we don't know are going to be able to come back, like Overshown, who's one catastrophe of a hurricane when he's on that field, damaging everybody coming across that line. And we don't know how he's going to come back and progress. And then 22 unrestricted free agents that Jerry can't go out there and say, I can keep all y'all if y'all keep the same amount of money. When other teams most definitely are going to be trying to get at least half of them. Now, this is Turpin's year up, but there's no way I can see him letting Turpin get away. Turpin's not getting away. He's going to keep Turpin. Somebody like Turpin, we have to keep.
Well, Micah Parsons has to make a business decision for himself. And we'll get back to that in just a couple minutes, because I've had Uncle Cheech waiting for a few minutes, and now everybody, just so you know, Jimmy don't know much about college football, but thank God Greg and Uncle Cheech do. So we're going to get into a little bit of college football and Uncle Cheech's picks from last week and moving on to this week. So let's bring in Uncle Cheech. Uncle Cheech, how you doing this evening?
What's up, Cheech?
What's up? Good.
How was your weekend, Uncle Cheech?
Oh, it was good. Watched games all week.
Yeah. Well, did you do anything around? Did you jump in the hot tub? Were you with the girls? What was going on?
I got my house still not repaired yet from the hurricane. Jacking me around a little bit. But anyway, I had a good week. Went 3-1.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Was the Denver game was the only one, right?
Well, my Denver game, that was my upset. You saw what happened there. That was my only loss. I had Notre Dame.
Yep.
I had Philadelphia. I had Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. You did good.
Ohio State was my lock. Two big plays. They win by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And the Denver game, I mean, that was close at halftime, Denver and Buffalo. That was, I said,
I got out of hand. It was the only upset I could go to, but I didn't bet on it. But I know who bet on Ohio State, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Denver when they went up 7-0, I said, Buffalo's in trouble. But
they are.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
And
one drive they had the whole game.
And that was the thing. So now, Uncle Cheech, you're 11 out of 13 on your locks over the last few weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see? So everybody was doubting Uncle Cheech a month ago. Now who's talking? Now who's laughing? Who's got money flying out of their pockets?
Why do you think Mike's off tonight?
Exactly.
His winnings. He's on a cruise
Yep.
with my money.
That's right. He's spending all that cash he won listening to you. So who you got this week?
Okay, this week I wouldn't bet on any of these games but the lock.
Okay.
Because there's not many to choose from. You got to play with what you got in front of you. Play the hand you're dealt.
So you mean you got a lock for this week?
I got the lock for the week. But we'll start off for national championship, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I'll take Ohio State minus 8.5 in that game.
Okay.
I think they're just got a little too much firepower. I told you last week Notre Dame was going to get in one way or the other.
Yeah.
And then somebody complained to me, but what you call's getting all the calls. Penn State, they're all going their way. And I said, but who won the game?
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
That's all that matters.
That's all that counts. Dummy.
That's it, man.
All right, now I'm going to take the Ravens plus 1.5 at Buffalo.
Woo!
Ravens gave a pretty good beating last time. I know Buffalo's home, but I'd bet Buffalo if I was you. And every time I pick the Ravens, they lose. But I'm going to take the Ravens in this game.
That'll be an upset.
Yes, it would.
What you got in that Detroit game?
Okay, my upset's going to be, I got no choice. I'm going to have to take Washington plus 8.5 at Detroit.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Not many games no games to choose from. Washington, who can get luckier than that team has been?
I know. They got lucky. They got lucky.
The field goal doinks off the side, goes through. They win the game.
Yeah. So what about tonight's game?
Yes.
Tonight, I'm gonna take the Rams over the Vikings.
Yeah, I told Michael during the season. I said
I don't know what the spread is, but the Vikings got pushed around by Detroit pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm gonna take the Rams, whatever the spread is. Now the game I bet on, my lock, Houston to Kansas City. Kansas City minus 7.5 all the way. They're rested. Houston played good, but Kansas City was rested. They got Mahomes. Good defense. Healthy. They can't beat them. I mean, especially at home, I can't see it.
Yeah.
That's my lock of the week.
It's going to come down to the same last two seasons for the Kansas City Chiefs, either against Buffalo or against the Ravens for the NFC Championship.
And I'll take them again unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. That would be.
I'm surprised that the Eagles, they didn't look that good, but they were good enough.
Yeah. I wanted the Green Bay to win that one. But
I think the whole civilized world wanted Green Bay to beat up on Philly. And I'm sorry, you're going to bust out that fumble on the opening kickoff was clearly recovered by Green Bay.
It was. It
absolutely was.
That's what I told my cousin. We were texting. I said that was clearly the drone above showed it. But check this out. That's the same referee that blew the call in Dallas when Detroit Lions said that the guy had ruled himself as eligible. Remember that game?
Yes.
When he came in Dallas and he ruled himself as eligible, they got a touchdown and they
have a full-scale investigation on this.
Yeah, it's the same. That was the same referee.
But anyway, Baltimore, the way they ran the ball, I mean, he was just running people over.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
Derrick Henry.
And that was without Zay Flowers.
And I'll tell you, I was really impressed, but I think they'll beat Buffalo. But bet the lock. The other games, you take your chances. Now, next year, since the season's almost over, I can't do nothing now.
Right.
If I'm still living next year and back on the show, I'm going to have a new I'm in negotiations and we're getting another new format added to the picks.
Okay.
I can talk about it now. I'm in negotiation with somebody. Something against my principles, but I think it'll make it a little more exciting on my weekly picks every week. So if I'm still around next year, who knows?
Now Uncle Cheech, you said 3 times about not being around. I mean, now you got me worried. There's something you're not telling us. Is somebody chasing you?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Nobody chasing you, boy.
You ain't got the mafia on you, do you?
Nobody chasing you.
What? What is that word?
What? Nothing. You watch too many movies.
I don't know nothing. So, so like I said, you guys
Hey,
both know.
I'm going to be 74 years old, you know.
Really? You don't look a
Go
day over
ahead,
60.
then.
Huh?
You don't look a day over 60, Uncle Cheech.
I know that. That's what the old bags around here tell me. How old are you, Cheech? 50?
So, as the cave knows, I don't know much about college football. I'm not going to pretend to. So I think it's a good idea for Uncle Cheech and Greg maybe to talk about this this college football championship game coming up, because we already have somebody who is a Thomas is saying the real championship game was OSU and Texas.
Let me tell you, as much as I don't like Notre Dame,
That might be, but this is the way it is. So
it's the way it is. Much as I don't like Notre Dame, I'd have to say Notre Dame is playing. That Riley Leonard is the X factor for Notre Dame.
He's a good quarterback. That's the only thing that makes me nervous in this game.
Yep.
He's a good quarterback. He transferred from Duke.
Yep.
And
he's the
a
X
good
factor.
quarterback.
And where he goes
That's
Notre
why I
Dame.
said I wouldn't bet on this game, because they do have a chance.
Yep.
A good chance. So I hate giving that many points, but in college, you got no choice.
Yep. And Ohio State's quarterback, there's times where he's kind of, and Ohio State's defense is keeping him in.
It wasn't for them two big plays, they would have won the game. They'd scored on two big plays, period. Gave them the 14 points.
Yep. So it's
at the end of the half, what was it? At the end of the half, there's 20 seconds left. He throws the pass, guy runs it all away. I mean, lucky.
Yeah, that was luck. That was luck. And he had to run. He had to run through a little of a gauntlet, and that's just the blocking. The blocking scheme was just perfect in order for him to get through that gap and run that touchdown. But I tell you, Riley Leonard, that boy is. He makes you nervous if you're not a Notre Dame fan and you're rooting against him. He makes you nervous because Ohio State quarterback, he's good, but he's not complete. So they're going to have to play a complete game to beat Notre Dame. But I'm going for Ohio State big time.
I wouldn't bet no money on them, but you want to bet it, you bet the Chiefs. They win easily.
Yeah.
You take that money right to the bank. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Nobody comes after me, I told you.
So, you know what, though, I was going to say.
I'm not hard to find.
Just like we all root against the Eagles, I know you guys being Canes fans are definitely rooting against the Fighting Irish.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hate both of them, to be honest.
Really?
I hate Ohio State after they cheated us out of that.
They sure did. Out of that sixth championship we would have had.
Took a cheap shot on a running back, put him out of commission.
Yep, they sure did.
A dirty program they run.
And then the referee waited like 3 days later to throw a flag.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even pass interference and gave him an opportunity to come back.
I haven't gotten over that one yet.
Yep, I definitely haven't gotten over that one yet.
So Thomas is
we got a new defensive coordinator at the Hurricanes, so
that's gonna be great. That's gonna be good.
Get made. We'll see. But other than that, I like LA tonight over the Vikings. Detroit just manhandled them.
Yeah, and LA, I'm telling you, I told Mike early in the season, I was about the 5th game. I said, Mike, team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs if they get healthy. When Puka was hurt and Cup was hurt, I said, it's the Rams. I said,
tonight we'll find out if that's true.
Yeah, it's something about them Rams, man. And, it'll be a shame if Minnesota goes from one game of winning their division and having the number 1 seed to dropping way down to have to play the Rams and then totally getting knocked out. That would be a shame.
That's the way it is. What are you going to do?
Well, so Bobby Murphy's walking it back a little bit, Uncle Cheech, where he said he was just busting ball. I think he got him a little nervous. He didn't want to show disrespect to Uncle Cheech. So I want to ask you guys. So Thomas brought up and remember, I know nothing about college football. I'm not going to pretend to. Ohio State running back Henderson. High draft pick or what?
I don't know that he'll be because I don't think any team's going to take a running back high. except for the guy from Boise. And I don't even think if he goes in the first round, it'll be late first round. But I can see him possibly in the middle of the second round. But I wouldn't see Henderson probably until maybe the third round. When we start talking about college football, man, that Carson Beck thing, I'm like, but then again,
$10 million. I wish I was back in school.
Yeah, but then again, what Cam Ward did for Miami was to open the door for other high-level, high-visibility quarterbacks to consider coming to Miami because of the visibility they get. They saw Cam was in the Heisman running, and that visibility alone is what they want to help boost their draft stock. And Carson Beck, I guess we could do worse, but time will tell on Carson Beck. But at least it's a start. We got somebody who's been there. Is
Scatterboo going to get drafted?
Oh, I don't know. Yo, Scat, is he coming out?
Oh, I don't know.
If he's
he
coming
almost
out,
won that game. We didn't talk since that game. He almost won that game single-handedly.
He did. And you know who won that game? The referees who blew that targeting. That was 100% obvious targeting. And I bet the refs back in the booth said, I'm not going to be behind this when Texas loses this. I'm not going to be behind this. I ain't calling that one. That they win the game if that targeting is allowed, which it was, because they kick a field goal and win.
Al, either way, my most valued friend, the Whale, he cashed in big by playing them. By playing, where are they? Western Arizona, wherever the hell they are. Idaho.
Yeah, Arizona State.
Whoever the
Man.
But he cashed in big. He said, you really feel strong about this? I said, yeah. I said, the game's going to be close.
Yep, and it was.
Tax-free.
I payday, send me a case of champagne. And not that cheap shit you get at Kmart.
Oh, yeah, he hit it.
And it's all tax-free, best thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And I thought about Bobby brings up a point. I don't know. I thought about it too. Wonder if the situation in California relocating the game to Arizona affects the Rams at all.
Well, they don't have. They're supposed to be home, but it in a way, because when you're playing on your own backyard and you got your own crowd, it helps boost your confidence and your familiarity and being comfortable where you are. So now they're playing away game as the home team, but they had to bust in some fans. You don't know which fans are gonna be the loudest. They're not on their own field. They don't know where that one blade of grass is that they slip on and they don't slip on. So it could make the difference for Minnesota.
And what Edgar's saying is there's a lot of Vikings fans showing up in Arizona, according to the news.
I don't think it's gonna make much difference. What makes a difference if it's cold as hell or hot as hell?
Yeah,
then it's gonna make a difference. But between LA and Arizona, I don't think there's much difference in the weather. Minnesota's an inside team, so if the temperature is decent, I don't think it's gonna make much difference. Fans are gonna come. They paid for the tickets. They're gonna get there one way or the other.
Yeah. Time's going to tell, but Darnold's going to have to be spot on in this game in order to beat the Rams, because between Puka, Kupp, and Matthew Stafford, unless that defense is able to get to him, I'm telling you, listen, if the Rams win this game, it would not shock me a bit if they go back to the Super Bowl, because these guys are playing back at that level they were when they were healthy and they went to the Super Bowl with Stafford.
You know what? Edgar's saying, does he take a step back and become the Sam Darnold of old? But remember, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The Rams sitting everybody a couple weeks ago just to get healthy. I agree with it. Greg, I think you agree with it. It was the right move.
It was the right move. But, this game tonight is going to, you'll know in the first quarter where this game is going. And if the Minnesota Vikings are holding their own and they're playing comfortable and they're playing confident, it's going to be a tough battle to the end. But if this game goes in the first quarter like that Green Bay game against Philly, I'll probably be going to watch a movie.
Now, also, Cheech, Where are you going to be watching the game from tonight, Uncle Cheech?
Right here in my house.
Oh, okay. No parties, no champagne, no.
Not for this game.
No, okay. Plus,
I
it's a
told you
Monday
I got a
night.
case of champagne. I have my own party.
Yeah.
Me and Big Maria, we go in, we pop open a couple bottles.
So, Cheech, let me ask you this: who is your early pick to play in the Super Bowl?
I had Green Bay and Kansas City.
Green Bay and Kansas City. Yeah, Green Bay was dangerous. I was telling a lot of people Green Bay's dangerous, so you better watch out for them. And then they just pooped the scoop.
I know I went against them last night, but the Eagles looked strong to me when I saw them a week ago.
Yeah.
So
And
but they hung with them pretty well. But 1 or 100 don't make no difference. You lose the game unless you're betting on it. So.
And who the Eagles play next week?
Eagles play. Who do they play? Oh, Minnesota. Or the winner of tonight's game.
Yeah. They play the winner of this game.
Yeah. So
and
again, Philly didn't look good. I'm sorry, they got lucky on that opening kickoff fumble.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a fumble. And Jalen Hurts looked okay. And Jordan Love was hurt. Jordan Love was playing hurt.
Yeah, but
I said they didn't look that good, but they were good enough.
Yeah, they were good enough. They were good enough. They didn't. They
good enough to cover that 4.5. That's all I was concerned.
And that's right. They were just plain lucky.
Me, I don't care who wins, as long as they cover. Mine's finance.
They didn't look dominating to me last night. Like, oh, they're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Not at all.
No, they didn't look dominating to me at all. So, if the Lions win tonight, no matter what Philly does, people got to go through Detroit. And I'm gonna tell you, Campbell knows. He's been to the NFC Championship last year. He knows this year he might have to do a little bit different than going on every fourth down. Maybe 1 or 2 of them take the points.
Yeah, as long as you don't make any bonehead mistakes, coaching, like cost him in the past couple times. But what are you going to do?
High school play calling. No, but
I don't even know if the Lions. I don't know if Lions. They might go all the way in the NFC, but I don't know if Kansas City gets there. I don't know if anybody can beat them.
Yeah,
everybody's talking Detroit. Kansas City only lost 1 game. Well, 2 if you count the one they gave away last week. But, hey, they got good defense. They got a good offense. A great coach. They've been there twice in a row. The odds are against them to win 3 times. But don't sleep on that team at all. I'm telling you.
Don't sleep on them.
Detroit's getting all the publicity right now. But
Kansas City knows how to win.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't care if it's by 1 or by 100. They know how to win.
I see my brother. Let me see. Did I just see my brother log in? Yeah. My brother logged in on here because he's a giant Buffalo Bills fan. James Neighbors. There he is. Don't count the Bills out. That you talking about look, my brother goes back with the Buffalo Bills to the O.J. Simpson days. He is an Ohio State to Archie Griffin days. So he is a big Ohio State, big Buffalo Bills fan. And he is excited. Because see, imagine when my Cowboys beat them twice in the Super Bowl. You know, I had to console him a couple of times.
Man. So Uncle Cheech, we appreciate you stopping out. You're the best. I appreciate all the tax-free money you're helping us make for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. And we'll talk to you later in the week.
All right, you guys, enjoy the game. Should be fun. And I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Right, thanks. Take it easy.
Take it easy, great.
Grazie mille. All right. So let me figure this part out. Hold on 1 second. But I'm sorry. It was Edgar maybe said that wasn't a fumble. That was a fumble. I don't care what anybody says. And
which one?
Not for nothing. At the beginning of the Green Bay.
That was a fumble, but they got it back. But that's what I'm saying.
It was recovered by Green Bay.
Yeah, it was recovered by Green Bay because that drone, they even showed the replay with that drone, showed straight down on it where Green Bay recovered it. But it was when I saw the ref that called it, I said, oh, that's the same one that blew it for the Lions against us. So it didn't surprise me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You could say, oh, it was opening the game, but that set the tone for the game. It was a big letdown at that point.
Yeah.
That set the tone. And how do you blow? You know, it's amazing. We're talking about the refs. How do you blow a freaking an instant replay? I still don't get that in any of these sports. It happens in all the sports.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But I just couldn't understand that one. That was at the beginning of the game, and it was obvious they got the ball back. But here's the thing: because it was at the beginning of the game, and Philly scored a touchdown after that. But Green Bay had too many opportunities when they even came back close. They had too many opportunities to take that game. Their defense just let them down. The defense let them down, and the offense didn't click at all. And I guess now what they did to us last year was either what do you call it? Catching a firefly in a jar, or we were just straight trash. Which in the latter part, I would probably be more accustomed to accepting, because I'm telling you, Cowboys fans, listen, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. The next 3 years, considering how Jerry's done this year, considering the 22 unrestricted free agents we got in all season, considering the fact that we have a cap space just enough to buy 2 cars, it's looking dim for us for the next 3 years, fellas. It's looking dim. And it's been a long time since we've been in a position that we're coming up on. Oh, and by the way, we don't have a coach. And when we do get a coach, what's the future for Mike Zimmer? What's the future for Al Harris? I'm telling you, it's looking mighty dim, fellas. What do y'all see about us? What do you see?
Okay, so what about, here's a thought, Coach Prime?
No, we don't need somebody up there for Jerry to put in front of a circus to make some money, because that's what he wants Prime for. You know, Prime is going to bring the attention, the media, the money. I got nothing against Prime, because I think Prime can change the culture. But right now, I want a seasoned coach. And I would not be against Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has to agree to leave Pittsburgh, because Mike Tomlin has a no-trade clause. If he agreed to leave Pittsburgh and come to Dallas, I would not be against that, because with Mike Tomlin, as he says, the standard is the standard, and he'll change the culture. Now, Ben Johnson, he's going to be the most sought-after coach out there. Jerry won't even be able to touch him. If Jerry wanted him, Jerry wouldn't get him, because Ben Johnson is not going to take $45.25 to coach the team and have Jerry to have all the control, so Ben Johnson can't be Ben Johnson. There's no way.
And Cassie's saying it doesn't matter as long as Jerry is there.
She's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So we talked about Aaron Glenn earlier. I mean, look, the thing with Tomlin, like you said, he's a proven winner. You know, and you say sometimes it's that revolving door of coaches. The thing is, Tomlin's a winner. And you're setting him up with a quarterback and a receiving core and some defense.
Well,
and like I said, change the culture a little bit.
You think we're setting him up with a receiving core and the defense. We don't know what Jerry's going to do in the offseason. We already know what he doesn't do in free agency. So Tomlin leaves Pittsburgh and comes to us. It could be just like he's leaving Pittsburgh, coming to Pittsburgh, because they haven't done anything to get him a quarterback. They haven't done a whole lot to get him nothing in free agency. They left him kind of lamed up. Now, Pittsburgh didn't say anything about getting rid of Tomlin, because, of course, they know they don't have the power. Tomlin has the power. But I guarantee you they're going to be trying to get a quarterback in this draft. Or in free agency, if there's a quarterback out there that's looming and somebody doesn't want to pay him and he's able to be purchased by Pittsburgh, they might do that. But Pittsburgh's definitely going to be looking for a quarterback in the draft. They need one. But if Tomlin wants to come to Dallas, I know Tomlin is probably going to sit back and think, do I want to go to Dallas when Jerry Jones is going to pull all the strings? And I don't know what he's going to give me as far as weapons. If I'm Tomlin and I got that get out of jail free card with me where I don't have to move unless I don't want to, I'll stay at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there. His family lives there. He's familiar with the area. I agree with you. But you know what? You never know. Stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah, but it's just like Cassie said. Nothing changes as long as Jerry's there. And we're at that. We've been saying this for years, but this year really brought it to the forefront, Jimmy. This year has taken even most of us with the most tolerable nerves. This year has taken us to the brink. Jerry has got to go, or finally, old as he is, finally wake up and say, I have to stop doing what I'm doing. I need to go out and do what these other teams are doing and hire a real GM, player personnel people, and go out there in free agency and get these people and go and get this 1 and 2 player that we need to subsidize our team, and go out there and make sure that I'm keeping those unrestricted free agents that we really need. I can't see him doing all that. That's too much for him. Picking up a fork and eating too. Jerry can't do it. And we're in trouble. We are in trouble for the next 3 years. Mark my words.
So what I wanted to do, and we brought this up earlier, we're talking about coach. What about personnel? I'm going to throw this at you. So obviously we got Bijan Robinson in Atlanta. The year before that, we drafted Tyler Algier, and with Mariota as the quarterback, he rushed for, I think it was like 1,100 yards and like 5 touchdowns, and he caught a couple hundred yards receiving out of the backfield. Even with Bijan there, he's still 900 yards from scrimmage the last 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. So his contract is up at the end of next season.
Who?
Right? We're going to have to sign Bijan. We're going to have people to sign at that point. We're going to have money. So the question is, you guys willing to trade some draft capital to us for Algier, who's a damn good running back? I don't want to lose him, but the business end of this comes up. What do you think?
But the problem with that, Jimmy, is like, do I want to go to a new car salesman lot, or do I want to go to used car salesman lot? I'm tired of Jerry going to the used car salesman lot. No, he ain't going to the used car salesman lot. He's going to the donation lot. That's where he's going. That's where he's going. Jerry wants everything cheap. If you're going to be all in, Jerry, you got to pay for it. You got to pay for it. These other teams are doing it. Look at every team around us that's in the playoffs and has been playing good ball, even like Green Bay. These folks are paying to get where they need to go. We're not doing it. And to go out and get Algier, now we're trading a rock for a rock. You know, he might be a good player, but we need to go and get a fresh leg, young beast of a running back. And we find him in the draft. We need to culture him. We need to nurture him. We can't go out there and get somebody that's already used up somewhere else and think they're going to come in and they're going to win games for us. We can't do that. But Jerry loves to do that. He loves to do that. And I wish he would change. I just don't get it, man. Some people you can be an idiot all your life. Somewhere along the line, you get it. Somewhere a significant life-altering event happens and you wake up. Jerry's 89 going on 97? He hasn't had that life-altering significant event yet to wake him up. And it's sad because he got all of us sitting back seeing that we're this far away to greatness. But as soon as we get there, he says, 5 steps up. Guess what, folks? 7 steps back, because he's going to sabotage us every season. He does something to sabotage the team every single season. And this year, he pulled his bag of saboteur tricks out big time. You get a sabotage. You get a sabotage. You get a sabotage. He did it. He did it, man. He did it.
Now, do you think it's because he just expects everybody's going to pay their season ticket, nut and all that, just go to the games?
No, it's because he's a narcissist. He's egotistical. And Jerry is the type of person, I don't care if wrong stands in front of my face, I'm not going to admit it. He won't accept it. Even though he knows everybody in the world knows better. He's been able to kind of slide his way out in the past few years, but not this year. People in countries that never heard the word football know who Jerry Jones is and how unaccountable he is. So he can't hide. All of the media on any platform knows that the Dallas Cowboys' problems lie solely in the hands of Jerry Jones. They all know that. He knows they know that. And the reminder is every week when he watched Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley run to the moon. It kills him because he knows He blew it. And here's the worst part about him blowing it. He didn't even realize who those guys were. That's why he never called them. It'd be different if you knew what these guys were like, but you didn't call them for one reason. He was oblivious when they even asked him, why didn't you sign Derrick Henry? Almost like, who? Saquon Barkley was ready. What? And then later, when he realized what they were doing, what'd he say? He costs too much.
Yeah.
Next story. He wouldn't have fit in our scheme. He had to come up with something to tell the media all the time. It's like when you tell lies all your life and you have convinced yourself, you always convince yourself that other people believe your lies, even if they tell you they don't. That's a sickness. That is a sickness.
And look at, so Marissa, we as fans need to stop supporting. Edgar's bringing up merchandise, tours, and all that.
Ain't gonna
fans
happen.
Keep the revenue up. NFL's leaving. He knows.
Ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
Ain't gonna happen.
Steve's saying Jason Witten is the next coach. Laugh.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. And Jerry knows if he does get Jason, you know what he's gonna do? Hey, Jason, come over to the house for dinner. Come on and have some of this sushi we got over here, Jason. Oh, by the way, you feeling full, Jason? Oh, yeah, that was a good dinner. I really like that sushi. Hey, Jason, how about $89.35 for 5 years? Can you do that? And then you do what I tell you to do. Jason, yeah, I just want to get out there and get an opportunity to coach. I'll do it. And then here we go, lame duck again.
And you got, being a Yankees fan, naturally, we had Steinbrenner when I was younger. It was a similar drama situation. In the middle of games, he'd be calling down to the dugout, telling Billy Martin who to put in relief and all this stuff. Then he finally went quiet and left it up to Gene Michael. Because remember, the Yankees won, then they went drought for a while.
But what Steinbrenner never stopped doing was going out there getting players.
That is true.
To benefit. Jerry doesn't do that.
He got players. But then he finally let Stick Michael go back and cultivate some of, and obviously it's different with baseball, but he did start delegating later in life. And we won some World Series, during that time. So it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. But will it be done? No. I'm going to tell you, Jimmy, you and I can go in that organization and Jerry can delegate to us some responsibility. And as long as he keep his mouth shut, I guarantee you, if the Cowboys don't win but 2 games because of us, it'll be better than last year with Jerry. But it's not going to happen. This man, people out there look up the word narcissist. Guess what you're going to see? You ain't going to see a paragraph. You're going to see a face of Jerry Jones. Just like that. Right behind it. The only word in the dictionary where there's a face behind it. And Jerry Jones epitomizes narcissist. And until he's gone, and Lord knows I hope he's gone in my lifetime. Not dead, just assistant living facility, no phone, no phones, no transportation, far away from Arlington, maybe up in Montana somewhere. But until that happens, we're gonna be exactly where we are.
So you think he's going to be playing bingo and all that other stuff at the retirement home at night?
If he does, he's going to control the bingo board. He's going to control the spin. He's going to call them, and then he's going to sit there and say bingo. Do it all.
So Steve says he legit wants, this is what I brought up before. You shot that down quick. He legit wants Deion Sanders.
Who legitimately wants Deion Sanders?
Steve,
you trying to sabotage the Dallas Cowboys too? Why do you, what is the solution? Why do you want Deion? Tell me, Steve, why do you want Deion? You tell me why you want Deion. Just like a lot of people say, I want a Rolls Royce. Well, why do you want that Rolls Royce? Is it because it's efficient and it drives well and it's smooth, or you want it just to show?
The insurance is too much on one of those Rolls Royces.
And you want it to show. You want it just for show.
So look at this. This is an interesting take. And you could put any name here where it says Cowboys. Cowboys are a marketing firm that happens to play football. That's an interesting.
But you can't convince other people otherwise. That's right now. You can convince the majority of the people that that's exactly what it is. And to the person's comment about we need to boycott Jerry Jones not buying merchandise, folks. Jerry Jones just spent how many millions in NASCAR? He's putting is it 300 million into
really?
NASCAR? But he can't put that same effort into the Dallas Cowboys. We can stop buying all the Dallas Cowboy merchandise we want. It won't affect Jerry Jones at all in his decision making. And hell, we won't even do what it takes to stop global warming and clean up the highways. So how in the hell we gonna stop? All the Cowboys folks gonna get together and stop buying Dallas Cowboy merchandise. Ain't gonna never happen.
So Greg, here we go. Steve is saying Deion's a proven winner. He turned around Colorado. He'll run the show. Deion will change the horrible culture we have, and that's why I want Deion.
The only thing I agree
prayers.
with, Steve, the only thing I agree with you on that is he will attempt to change the culture. I could have changed Colorado. Colorado wasn't winning nothing. They had players on the team just to be there. You know that. Steve, you could have won more games with Colorado than they had the seasons before Deion. Deion brought the notoriety to Colorado. Yes, they were winners, but anybody could have won in Colorado. The culture, I agree, but it's not just culture. There's a science to coaching. You are the manager of all these other coaches. You are the specialist of what these coaches are doing, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, everybody. You know what they're doing. And if the schemes that they're trying to apply are going to work or not, you can look on that field and you can see what's working and what's not. You can see the science of studying a defense and an offense so you can help your offensive defensive coordinator if they need it. And you're smart enough to know how to surround yourself with all the talent. Now, if Deion surrounded himself with an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, and all these folks are head coach caliber, maybe. But folks that are head coach caliber are not going to take offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. They're going to go be a head coach. So Deion would be an experiment. Right now, I want somebody who's already in the system or that's either a hell of an offensive coordinator that close to being a coach, or somebody's a defensive coordinator that close to being a coach. And there's a lot of them in the NFL. The pickings are plentiful in the NFL. It's all about who Jerry seriously wants to pick to win. And if you're a Cowboys fan like me I go back to the late 60s with the Cowboys. I'm talking about where I could comprehend football and watching them play. Jerry, when he got Jimmy Johnson, he went in with a brand new team he owned. He went in with somebody that he played ball and won a national championship with, a winner from Miami Hurricanes, and Jimmy Johnson did exactly that. So Jerry thought he was a genius until the genius turned into an idiot over a stupid argument when Jimmy said, Jerry, you own and let me coach. Leave me alone. And Jerry said, bump you out of here. See, that arrogance has caused 28 years now? 28 or 29 years of not losing, but not getting past the divisional round in the playoffs. And it took him 25 years to the day on Fox Sports to apologize and say his biggest regret was letting Jimmy Johnson go. And if it takes 25 years to admit that, it'll take another 25 for him to admit that what he's doing now is wrong.
I can't believe you just admitted you're watching the Cowboys in the 1960s.
Oh, yes, sir.
You don't look a day over 40. I don't believe
it. Like a friend told me a long time ago when we were in Air Force. He said, I didn't get this old by being a fool.
You know what? True words are never spoken. Oh, except for Jerry. Jerry, right?
But what we need, we've been pretty good in the draft. We've always been pretty good in the draft. Now, there's a scout for the Dallas Cowboys that's no longer under contract after this year. It's not a question, but is Jerry going to retain him? And he's been good helping us in the draft. See, a lot of people think it's Jerry and Steven making those draft picks. Oh, we got one hell of a scout who's been making that happen. Jerry needs to re-sign him. Chances are he will. He will give him another contract and stay with us because it's been working. But once you get your draft, in the offseason, during training camp, those players that are coming in or players out there that you could pick off of other wires need to get them. But even if you don't doing that, the most crucial point is free agency. And all these successful teams have gotten players from free agency that they knew were diamonds and fit well into their program. We don't do nothing. We don't even look at free agency. You can't win that way. There's no way.
Not today. Not in this NFL.
No way. I wish I had 1 hour to sit down with Jerry Jones, even though he wouldn't pay me 5 minutes of attention, because his mind will be elsewhere. Just so I can walk out of that room and say, you know what? Jerry probably won't listen, probably won't heed a damn thing I said, but I got that off my chest in front of the rat.
Well, you know what? I gotta say it's tough because you guys had a prime. We don't have a prime. I mean, we were in 2 Super Bowls, lost them both.
But
you've seen our owner. I respect the hell out of Arthur Blank. He's hands off. He does what he's got to do. When shit happens, that look, we're gonna take a step back. When things are going on with Mike Vick, maybe a sensitive topic for some people. Arthur Blank backed him up. So okay, let's deal with this. And coaches, same thing. He's hands on when it's needed, and hands off when it's not, when it's necessary.
Well, Arthur Blank is one of 31 of 30 other coaches that have realized that the most effective and successful way for an organization to run is proper delegation. Hire people for those positions. Don't leave those positions vacant and say, I am the almighty. I can run all of these by myself. I'll put this hat on today, this hat on tomorrow, this hat on the next day, this hat on this day, and I'll put this hat on today, and I'll make them all work. That's Jerry. That's Jerry. And he ain't saving a dime by doing it. What he's doing is killing us. He's killing us. And Cowboys fans deserve better. We deserve better. The team deserves better. The players deserve better. And we're not getting it.
So Cassie's talking about bringing somebody out of college, either Texas or Ohio State.
Now, I don't want a college coach because it's going to take time for them to mature and learn. Believe it or not, NFL is faster. The pace is faster than college. And I want somebody to prove it. There's enough coaches in the NFL right now that are available to hire good coaches. It's just a matter of who Jerry's going to get. And if you're a true Cowboys fan, here's what you're doing. You're sitting back saying, okay, McCarthy's gone. What are we going to get? And every day you're like this. Oh, Lord. When is the decision? Oh, anytime now, Jerry's going to come out with a decision on the coach. Oh, please hope it ain't Pootie Tang. Oh, Lord. Who is he going to get? If you're a Cowboys fan, that's what you're doing. You're sitting back thinking, oh, Lord, all these available big-time coaches. Who's Jerry hired? Oh, no. He just went to Baskin Robbins and got the owner and hired him as the head coach.
I want the chocolate peanut butter cup.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hey, Thomas, I don't mean, you must be drinking. You must have been drinking for the last couple hours, bro. Seriously, Thomas? You kidding me?
It ain't going to happen.
Sirianni. Get out of here.
Sirianni won't come to us because Sirianni will tell Jerry where to go. He will tell Jerry point blank. Let me tell you where you can go. And Jerry be like, he got to go. He got to go.
We'll give him one of these numbers right here.
Yep. Sirianni will do it. I tell you, if I had,
I don't like him anyway.
If I had my choice, I would take Mike Tomlin right off the bat. I would take the Minnesota Vikings coach, O'Connell. And in third place, it'll be Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson will bring the culture. And I think Ben Johnson, he's their offensive coordinator, right?
Yes.
Ben Johnson would bring the culture and the offensive schemes. Do you see the schemes that Detroit throws in their game? Anybody on that team on offense is eligible sometime or another in the game. Everybody on that offensive line at one time or another has become eligible on pass plays. And the plays that they design, the schemes are moving forward in the new age of NFL football, not the vanilla concept. Mike McCarthy's issues were, one, he didn't get the support by Jerry to give him anything he needed to win. And then number two, his offensive coordinating skills, they weren't up to par. And he needed somebody in there dynamic. And I guess Mike got to the point he got desperate after last year. He got desperate because he knew his job would be on the line. So he took over offensive coordinating position, thinking that, well, if I'm gonna go down with this ship, then it's gonna go down because of me being an offensive coordinator. But that worked for Aaron Rodgers. That worked for Brett Favre back in those schemes. It's not going to work today. And now Zimmer said halfway during the season, I'm not sure if I want to come back. And he said, I didn't adapt to what was going on against my defense in the early games, but later I realized and I caught on and the defense got better. But whoever our next coach is, he's going to want his own offensive coordinator. He may want his own defensive coordinator. And I sure hope they don't get rid of Al Harris, our DB's coach, because Al Harris could have went to Washington with Quinn. Quinn begged him to come to Washington. And Al said, give me think about it. And then he said, I think I'm going to stay here at Dallas. He could have been at Washington right now. So we may possibly lose him. We may possibly lose Zimmer. And everybody thinks we're just looking for a head coach. The whole staff, folks, when a new head coach comes in, normally they bring in who they want. The only problem is Jerry brings in a new head coach and he tells that head coach, this is your offensive coordinator. This is your defensive coordinator. This is your special teams coach.
Yeah,
well, how can you expect this person to win when you give him who you want him to have and not who he wants, so he knows that can do what he wants him to do?
Well, that's
folks, it goes deeper than just Jerry not making decisions to support the team and give them the weapons. Jerry, when I say Jerry makes every decision, Jerry is probably the one that hired the water boy.
You're probably, and that's to Marissa's point. You're not going to get those alpha male tough guy coaches coming in because they're not going to be able to deal with that. They're not going to want to deal with it. And get back to Ben Johnson and the schemes and everything. That's why Campbell is so ballsy to go on these fourth down plays all the time, because everything Ben Johnson's dialing up all game.
Well, and then Ben Johnson has bought into Campbell's type of ball. Campbell used to play with Dallas. Campbell is a player's coach. Campbell's the type of coach that you want on the sideline that looks like a player, that looks like he can go suit up and go play, that talks like a player, that acts like a player, that grinds like a player, that takes those risks like a player outside of the box with what normal coaches do in the coaching arena. Campbell's like, I know this is what coaches do, but I'm a coach and this is what I do because I can see where coaches make mistakes by not taking this risk, or where coaches make mistakes by not letting this person be eligible. Coaches make mistakes by not looking like a player, not coming in the locker room, talking to players like a player talks.
Yeah.
Knowing how to come down and meet a player where a player is psychologically. That's what Campbell does for the Detroit Lions. There are not that many coaches out there like that. And if Jerry brings somebody in, he's going to tell them everybody that he wants them to have on his staff, down to the water boy and the person that washes the uniforms. You can't win when you bring in the head coach and tell him who you're going to line him up with to be successful. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to give you any weapons during the season. By the way, I know we're deficient in running back. I'm not going to give you a beast of a running back. Oh, and I'm going to get rid of a running back like Tony Pollard. And then I'm not going to give you anybody to replace Dante Fowler and these other people that left to go to Washington. And I'm not going to give you I'm not going to let you bring in your coaches to replace the two coaches and the other coach that left to go to Washington. And guess what? In free agency, I'm not going to do a damn thing. And then you expect me to sit back and say, I'll take that contract? Whoever takes it is desperate because they want a coaching job, and they figure if the minimum that I'll get is 3 years with Jerry. And if I'm not successful, at least I was a coach.
Well, you know what? I have a feeling we're going to be sitting here in another month, and it's still going to be the same conversation. I think it's going to be a while before things get filled. But I think tonight it's almost kickoff time. So we're going to wrap things up unless Greg has got anything else to cover tonight.
Well, let me tell you, Cowboys fans, we're all going to be on pins and needles till we find out who the new head coach is. We're going to be on pins and needles till we find out who that head coach's staff is going to be. We're going to be on pins and needles until we find out what Jerry's going to do with the 22 unrestricted free agents. Remember that. 22 22 free agents that we have to pay to keep. And you better believe there are teams out there now that are going to try to get half of them, even if they pay a nickel more than Jerry. And these guys want to be a Cowboy, but they don't want to be a Cowboy making the same money because Jerry's cheap, not knowing if Jerry's going to give them the support when they need it, not knowing if Jerry's going to boost that offense, not knowing if Jerry's going to have a coaching staff that's equipped to mold these guys in the culture in winning, not knowing if Jerry's going to shut the hell up at media. We're going to.
I agree.
We're going to be like this for a while, and don't.
And
be
I agree. It's going to be a while. I think
it's going to be. Don't be surprised if we get a traffic cop to be the head coach. Don't be surprised.
Well, everybody, I just want to thank everybody.
I'm still going to be repping.
Well, you have to. You can't just. Yes.
DC, listen, DC for life. It's not going to change. A true Cowboys fan loves the Dallas Cowboys. All the players. Fickle on Jerry Jones. That's a real Cowboy fan. That's a real one. Any Cowboy fan that says, "Oh, I like Jerry Jones," bandwagon. So,
like Thomas says, he'll never shut the
keep
hell
the
up.
faith. Look forward. We've got to be better next year. Stay DC for life. And we coming back. One way or the other, we coming back.
And Greg's passion, you know they're going to come back. I agree with you. It takes time, baby, but it'll come. So, but I want to thank everybody for stopping in the cave tonight. We appreciate it. As always, have a great time with Greg. And listen, don't forget, like, subscribe, share. If you're on watching on X or any other platform, come over to YouTube. That's where all the funny comments and all the craziness is. But and one last thing, I just want to make sure, I'd be remiss if I said, to all the people in Southern California dealing with all the death and destruction and the fires, our prayers go out to you, our thoughts, and God willing, things get better soon. But Greg, thanks as always, appreciate it. And
nice hanging out with you again, Jimmy.
No, thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.
Where's my star?
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
Great.
It's